Hello and welcome. Welcome back. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. Yay! For those of you wondering what this is, well, it's Dungeons and Dragons. Or more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. So if this is not something you want to watch, we've talked about this before. So why are you still there? But just in case, you might be a new mistake. Yes, I did call you a mistake. Well, internet is a vast world. Go pick something. And if you don't know what, there are suggestions either to the right or to the left if you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube. For everyone else who actually wants to be here, even if it's not the best reasons why you want to be here, if you want to be here, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you with us. So long as you stay civil in the chat, we'll be glad you're here. We're going to enjoy your presence. And if you want to say hi, well, just say hi. There's always someone who's at least going to pay attention. If not us, maybe another person in the chat. We have a lot of silent viewers. Yeah. Alright, well. So, if you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. Hope you'll have a pleasant, whatever part of the day it is for you. And, like I said, it's going to be about Dungeons and Dragons. So, but for publicity's sake, the thunderstorm in the background, I think you can hear it because I think it's louder for you than for me. You get that with Ambient Mixer. It's a place where you can have ambiance made. Battle maps is Dungeon Alchemist and world map WonderDraft. And that is everything I need to say to make sure that no one tries to sue me. Yeah, that's everything. So, that being said, I think we can start the episode. Oh yeah, if any of the three program software that I mentioned interest you, the information is below the window. Whether watching this on Twitch, YouTube, even Patreon. Yeah, that's it. Now we're done with everything, all the publicities. So, time to get started. In case you weren't there last episode. Last episode, the party regrouped, rested, and reorganized for their next destination. A library in the far east. However, during the night, one party member decided to get into a bit of mischief, seizing the invitation of another party member's magical object to play with another magical object. Alright, well, that's going to be a confusing description. Fishers.
So Keith asked nicely if he could play with his toy, and he said yes.
So yeah, that's about it. So, accepting the invitation, our rogue, Remy, decided to immediately explore the untouched possibilities of this object. While much chaos ensued, and understandable reason to be angry at our rogue also were created, the end result was rather interesting and more the trouble. Because we have another party member who inherited 2 new basic trait stat. So, bad night of sleep for a good result. And
Very much
probably,
a situation of just because you were correct, that doesn't mean you were right.
yeah, there's still probably a good scolding for Remy and the work. But that's about everything that happened. I believe that we pick up in the morning when all of you start waking up. We don't need the rain anymore. Alright. So, morning comes and you all wake up. Your night was slightly disturbed.
Slightly, he says.
Well, it didn't last longer than an hour, so you didn't lose your long rest, but it was a bit strange. You're all waking up right now, so how do you want to wake up? That's a weird question.
Well, Raimi is going to slowly open one eyelid and then slowly turn his head toward the NPC guest.
um, yeah, he is currently sitting in something that feels very similar to a fetal position and watching all of you.
With a candelabra. Amy slowly gets up and gives a small wave.
You see him have a reaction. He looks at you for a moment, almost preparing to be hit by something. You notice he's looking at your hands, so maybe he's expecting magic to come out.
Maybe looking at his hands, putting his hands down, reaching into his pocket,
Is the
and
night
pulling out a truffle.
Oh, that's nice. Is this one going to be poison?
Shakes his head.
Oh, good.
Does he let him get closer?
Yeah, there's a little bit of panic in his eyes, but yes.
Then Ravi hands him the truffle.
Thank you. Thank you. You see him sort of have a reflex of extending his arm toward your head, and he just stops, and you recognize in his eyes that he has great fear. He doesn't know exactly if what he's doing is okay. You recognize sort of in his demeanor, in his move, that reflex of trying to pet a dog after he did something right, but just stopping himself. Thank you. Takes a small bit of cloth and he wraps it carefully. You recognize someone who's wrapping this carefully. It's someone who wants to keep this for later. He's just wrapping it very, very carefully. Looks at himself and sort of have that moment where he realizes, oh yeah, if I put this directly on me, it's gonna melt. Oh. He just takes it like this and thanks, and he gently get out of bed, one foot always looking at you, and looking at your friends who are starting to stir and get up. Fisher, who's getting out of his sentinel trance. I'm going to go now. Thank you for saving the village. I'm going to go evacuate the village with everyone else now. Bye.
Bye-bye, mister.
And he walks away, always looking at all of you, not turning his back. Just looks for the exit on the wall, slides a little bit, and disappears through the door.
Then Raimi pops onto his bed and starts polishing his jewels. Like, finally, some privacy.
I do feel kind of bad about that, but it also wasn't me, so...
Well, he did get a dessert out of this. So. He did.
Even got a golden one as compensation.
Oh, wow. Well, he's... He did pay a lot for a good room, which he didn't get, but he gets the mint on the pillow at the end. Okay.
I mean, hey, it's not like we can really compensate him with gold, considering that's not really useful here.
No. But there's probably one question that lingers in your mind slowly. You know that if you use a gold, it's going to taste different for everyone. So, with the kind of food they eat here, what does his truffle taste like? Get the feeling that the best he's ever tasted does not necessarily compare with the best you've ever tasted.
It's like, wow, this apple was like off of the branch a week ago.
This truffle, it tastes like blue cheese. The really, really smelly blue cheese.
But like the smelly blue cheese that you made on purpose rather than by accident.
Yeah. All right. So, Tobiyashi, audience, witnessing this odd moment where this person just left scared, as if you were all gonna curse him.
I mean, I was the one sleeping outside. I'm like, whatever.
You just remember that something erupted, and then there were all of the energy strings that Fisher keeps summoning, and he just went back to bed.
I'm still laying there listening.
Still in your bed, thinking
Morning
about
yet.
how that was nice to be groped by a energy tentacle.
Yeah, it was a nice blanket. It was very cozy.
Oh, apparently Remy is making you discover a whole different world, You went on a date with him, you went on a second date, then you were just groped by magical tentacles that he conjured by manipulating Fisher. Oh, and you got blown up by audience.
Which, if you really think about it, is very prankster behavior. Tricksterish, even.
Fits with the god that you've been praying to so far, right?
You can't sit in my dice rolling tray.
Okay. I'll do my best.
Oh gosh, she's messing everything up.
So, what,
And then there goes a D4.
what do you mean your dice tray? It's his or hers. Don't you know? Everything in your room belongs to your cat. Even you. Alright. So, I feel like this is going to be a silent stream.
Yeah. The night's coming today, right? Supposedly.
Yes.
Maybe
You're
nods.
supposed to.
I think so.
Are we? So you're just waiting around for that, pretty much.
Now, what else are we gonna do?
Oh, I guess keep a lookout for the hag to come back. The last remaining one.
No, we could do that. I can't really see the hags though.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's also kind of safe to assume that she wouldn't just by herself. That'd be kind of, yeah. All right.
Depends on
What
how
do you wanna
vengeful
do?
she is.
I say we wait and sleep some more. I haven't had a good night's sleeping forever.
Is that Tobiashi's opinion or Todd's opinion?
Kobayashi's.
Fair enough.
I think you're muted, audience.
I was like, you should only be here in a couple hours. I don't really think sleeping more is, Well, I'm just gonna go out and see what's going on in the town.
It's...
Yeah, Raimi after
Go ahead.
Raimi after polishing his jewels is probably going to hop out of bed and do the same thing.
All right. So you get up after a few, maybe half an hour. Your jewels are really well polished, Remy. You can see yourself in it. You just look at them and, oh, whoa. You get out of your bed, get out of the room, look around. You see that most people have left. There's only a few stragglers or people that wouldn't normally start working until later in the day. Even though you've been here for a week and a half, it's still strange, that feeling of when you get up, of the sky never changing. Not exactly day, not exactly night.
Oh, what's that?
I don't know.
That was on my side.
Okay.
And the world suddenly starts to turn to gray fuzz, and that's when we realize that this has all been a television show.
Ah, damn. Then there are huge colored stripes that appear, and you see the word, "We're having technical difficulties." Please stand by. Is this the outer limit?
Did I break something? I must have pulled the lever too hard.
Yeah, about that. So it's still strange looking out, looking up, that sky that never changes, day, night, no matter time. Always this dark red and brown color in the sky. You look outside, everything looks mostly exactly as it was. Except, again, maybe a few trees have shifted place. They're a bit different. I can swear you remember one tree being like this the night, and in the morning he's like this now. Weird. Everyone's going about their business, gathering supplies. Would appear that message has been passed that the settlement is being evacuated, so everyone is packing things the best they can. You can sort of recognize what you think it might be a horse. It's a little odd as a shape. It has horns, and the hind legs are more pronounced than those that a horse would have. It's closer to what a dog would have. But the rest looks mostly like a horse. And
So it just looks like a fucked up horse.
Yeah, a little bit. A dire horse. Like we need those. So everything is being packed on this long and, well, several long sled, all tied to those strange horses. A few people look at all of you a bit oddly. You get the impression that some of them may be blaming you for having to evacuate. But some of them do recognize that you could have prevented something very horrible from happening. But you recognize sort of this mixed reaction in some of them of being grateful and resentful at the same time, because they do have to abandon their home and everything they've done here. But they're alive to do it, so... weird mix of feelings. You don't...
And then the children.
The children. Well, the children wants to have a show. So you see a few children gathering around Remy, just waiting expectantly to see something.
I guess I'd go see if the night guard's friend is here, so we'd be able to leave if able when
Okay.
the night gets here.
Anyone goes with audience, or do you all stay with the sleigh as it's being loaded up?
I'll go with audience.
Okay.
You know what? Ravi could do one more show for the kids. It might even make packing up easier if all the kids are distracted.
Okay.
Well, you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know if you guys have ever been kids on moving day and the little kids. And it's just like, oh, look, I'm helping. But then it takes twice as long because they're helping.
So to make sure that they're actually helping, Remy is giving a puppet show.
Nice.
Well, considering the kind of puppets he's been carrying, I'm not sure if it's nice for the kids.
Well, you see, he could kind of do an interesting puppet show with his knife and with the puppet. Give the kids a good it's wow. It's just he's defeating the zombie.
All right, so Remy gives a show for the audience there. Meanwhile, Fisher, what are you electing to do? Stay with Remy and look at the show, or go with Tobiashi and audience, or do something else?
I think I will go with Toby and audience.
All right. For a moment, I was scared that you're gonna say that you were go see the cook and make caramel.
I'm gonna go watch paint dry.
Oh yeah, that's always. I wonder how that would be in this realm. Oh damn.
Gotta make concentration checks.
All day long. You failed your concentration check. You looked away. You missed. The paint has dried. Damn it. Alright. So the three of you go to see the night guard. And, well, when you arrive, as always, she's still up on her tower. But you recognize this small familiar face of a 5-foot-tall knight at the bottom of the tower, looking up. They're exchanging a few words. As you're getting closer, you hear Night Guard say, "Oh, you're finally awake! Sleeping beauties! Did you sleep well?"
Did you sleep?
I don't know. It's hard to keep track in this realm. You know, sometimes you shut your eyes and then... Did time really pass? Or is it just a construct of the mind? So hard to tell.
So who's the friend?
Yeah, he turns at you. Wow, have you met so many of my kins that you already can't figure out who's who? Wow, that's disturbing. Or you really
And/or
have
racist.
memory of a goldfish. It's the knight. It's him. You recognize the voice, but you know they all have the same frame. So, other than the fact that he is armored for heavy war.
Oh, that knight. I thought it was a different knight.
No.
Okay, I didn't think he was 5 feet.
Oh no, they are all 5 feet tall. They've been made by dwarves and gnomes, so he's quite tall for a dwarf and a gnome. Yeah, I sort of got the impression that you might be in trouble, so I tried to get here a bit faster, but apparently you got everything under control. You just had to kill Tree.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
We're gonna
Also,
plant.
Also, the
It's
couple
the
guards
third
were unfortunate. They will be missed. But yeah, no, we we killed the undead giant and we dealt with the 3 hags that were here. We killed 2 of them. Unfortunately, one escaped barely. But we did what we could.
One way or the other. They would have started to take you as problems. Now it's just gonna happen faster. Sorry, that's your dungeon master. Not the knight.
They will
Oh
be
no, this
missed.
thing you're
Roll
called.
deception. Oh man. Alright.
Well, it's dungeon master, so it's natural 20.
Yeah.
I have a special ability that I can choose to roll natural 20 when I want.
But we're glad you're here. We were gonna have you help deal with the hags, but there's no more need for that. But yeah, I think we're waiting for the night guard's friend, and then we're gonna head to the library.
He looks up and she's also coming? She's coming here right now? Oh, that's gonna be an interesting reunion. Okay. I want to be there when she comes in. I want to know what she's gonna say about all of you.
Okay.
That sounds ominous. What
Yeah,
does that mean?
that does sound ominous. Like, wait.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I'll just say that she has opinions.
Don't
Are
worry, she'll
they
have a chance to tell her story.
Annoying opinions? Abrasive?
He looks at all of you for a moment and... well... we'll just leave it at special opinions, and... maybe you should ask Remy about what she's going to say. I feel like he's going to be the one who's going to educate you the best.
That doesn't make me confident. What? Like, I don't even know what that means, but okay.
Have we met this person before? I'm so confused.
No, probably
I didn't think so.
unless it's someone that we used to know and now have forgotten. But
Okay, here you are. Alright.
anyway,
Well, I'm going to go see if everyone else needs a little help packing up. I'm sure that my presence will help them be at ease a little bit. And I am eager to see what the Zedra is going to say about all of you. Take care of yourselves.
what name did you just say? Did you just say the zebra?
A Zedra.
Or just the okay. Let me make a note.
Zedra.
The Night Guard is Isalna, and
Yeah, I have that.
that other person joining is called a Zedra.
Although, can we imagine the alternate history here where it's just like, and your new party member is a zebra?
Yeah, I like.
They
I
have
heard
opinions.
a zebra, but listen, the night guard's an odd person. I could see her having
It's
a
just,
horse
just
as a friend.
normal zebra.
Oh, what if the night guard is a horse girl?
Damn it.
No, I wouldn't do this
The
because
one
I
thing
don't
audience won't pursue.
I don't want to hear a continual joke about White Long Face. So no, it's not a horse.
All right. Well,
Like I said,
I guess-
the Night Guard looks like probably a half elf. It's hard to say from down there, but all right.
Is the plan for them to come with us to the library? Is
Yes.
that what? Okay.
that is the plan. Well, the plan is just for them to come with us
Because they want to get out.
because they want to leave, and
Uh-huh.
we have the way out. We
Okay.
are the way out.
Well, you have a way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only one that doesn't imply having to get past a horde of enemy that can kill you or making deals with questionable people.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Besides the ones we've already made.
Of course. So,
Well, audience has been wanting to do this for a while, and now that we're no longer suspicious, because he's been annoyed by this, but now he feels like he can actually do this for the first time, he's going to start attempting to actually climb the Night Guard's tower. Because he wants to. And he's bored, and there's nothing else to do.
all right. Oh, make an athletic roll. Too bad Remy's not there.
I will use my rope of climbing.
Nice.
So you don't rip your shirt as you're climbing. All right.
I'll still make an athletics roll and see how quickly I climb, but a 17.
All right. So you put in some effort And as the curse state, when you make the athletic roll, the shirt rips. So you get up the tower with your muscle bulging out of the ripped shirt. There's a voice in your mind that says, "Whew, thank God Remy's not here to see this." You get on top of the tower, and it's roomy. You get the impression that someone's been living here for a while. You see a place where someone most likely slept. There's a small bucket that's completely empty right now that has a faint smell of soap in it. So that's probably what she uses to clean herself up.
Mm-hmm.
There's another bucket who doesn't smell nice. That's probably what she needs to get out.
Yeah. So this person just does
Is
not
there
like
is
this
there
tower.
just a smelly like bombing area at the bottom of this tower somewhere?
Yeah, you know, she dries the poop and put it in a bag and just let it fall. You know, it's
There's like a lot
good
of effort.
compost.
How thoughtful. I'm gonna climb up there. I want to see what it's like.
All right. Well, it's well organized.
Like they were just invading her house, basically.
Yeah, no, it's
She came down. Someone's got to be up there keeping watch. So we're just keeping an eye out. We're house sitting.
she just watches you all coming out and you. That's interesting, and at least I know how it is in your world.
Yeah.
Not a lot of privacy, I understand.
Wait, is she back?
No, she didn't.
No, she
leave.
was up.
Oh,
She never left. She was just up there.
The knight left, not her.
okay.
Audience did that because he was bored. You did it because you wanted to invade her privacy. That's different.
No, what I said, I wanted to take a look. I meant a look at everything around because you're in a high spot.
Oh, yeah.
Just snoop through her stuff.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Audience just wanted to
I
do
mean-
the casual thing where he casually, jumped the railings with a ripped shirt. It was just like, "What's up? What's up?"
Like, all
What's
right,
up?
where's the panty drawer?
Also, now he can finally actually see what she looks like, since he hasn't actually been able to see that.
Well, like I said, everything betrays a. I was going to say night elf. I think I've been playing Warcraft too much. Everything betrays a half-elven person. Like everyone, she's well wrapped, so it's hard to see anything that betrays a lot. Her eyes are exposed, so you can notice that she has most likely brown hair, unless she dyed her eyebrow. Brown hair, slender frame, slight point in her ears. You kind of feel surprised, but not. It's sort of nearly a classic a half-elven ranger. So there's sort of okay. Well, was expecting different because she's from another world, but also she's from another world,
Yeah.
It's who knows? Maybe it's strange in her on her own world. There are a few things that you're not exactly sure what they are. There's an open backpack on the floor, and spread it on a piece of cloth. A small variety of magical object. Well, some of them you're sure they're magical object. Others you're not sure. They look like trinkets, but they're probably magical. A few crystals. One looks like a spyglass. Pair of gloves. 2 rings. A long dagger that has a very odd end. Slightly curved, but not in the direction that you would normally expect. Sort of makes it...
So more secular than like scimitar.
Yeah.
You mean it's curved like down? Like
Yeah, well, instead of being curved, like you said, like a scimitar, more like a scythe. A sickle, sorry.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but not completely, it's just a slight curve. And there's a small pile of clothes. You get that it's probably either the clothes that she was about to change in or the clothes that she already changed out of. The back...
I'll just kind of drop in. So you need any help packing?
Oh, that's generous, but I think I have everything figured out. It's not the first time that I have to pack. Although it's the first time that I have to pack with someone watching me.
You've never packed before. You've only ever packed by yourself.
Well, no, not exactly. It's more I've never had to pack while someone is staring at the bottom of my backpack as if there was candy in it.
No, that would be my friend Remy. I don't care as much about items.
No, I think you know that it's not items. There's a good chance that there's clothes in there, and you want to know what's at the bottom of the backpack.
Wow, that's super judgy. If you want us to leave, you can just say so.
I didn't say you needed to leave. I said that it's not frequent that I have to pack while a draconic heritage being wants to know if I have underwears in my backpack.
I think she's had bad experience with Dragonborn. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, that's like super presumptuous.
She looks at you for a moment, and she looks at audience. Right.
So do you have Dragonborn in your world?
Something similar. But mine have wings.
Oh, get wrecked. Sorry, audience.
Damn it! That's unfortunate. Not unfortunate. I'm just jealous.
Maybe if you stopped disappointing your friend, you'd have those.
Well, I didn't disappoint my friend. I disappointed a god who's not even my god. So
Yeah, fair enough.
I feel like disappointing a god is always a tricky thing.
I've disappointed a lot of gods in my time.
Okay, so now I know a little bit more about you. That's interesting.
Angered gods, disappointed gods, impressed gods. I've caused a lot of emotions in the godhood of this world.
Right. That's an interesting life you've had.
Yeah. We're hoping it doesn't come back to bite me at some point.
It's always nice to hope. It helps to move forward. But I'm pretty sure you're gonna be disappointed. But hey, who knows? Maybe the gods of your world are more lenient than those of mine and many of the world that I visited. So who knows?
So are you like a plane hopper? Just hopping the planes, hopping the worlds, hopping the shards, traveling the cosmos?
She has this moment where she looks at you, sort of expectantly, wanting to know what's gonna be the next thing you're gonna say. There's a bit of pressure on you to come up with a new thing.
I ended at traveling the cosmos.
Yeah.
And maybe the next leap be the leap home.
Feel like there should be an introduction music from a television series with this. And what about you? I mean, if you're stuck in a realm, it means you've been traveling realms a little bit. What are you?
We're the time knights. We're not the realm knights. Be more doing
Yeah.
time stuff.
Yeah, this was on accident.
Yeah.
As opposed to the time stuff, which is totally been on purpose.
Yes.
And didn't come out of the exact same mistake. Just with a different outcome.
I think you muted Tobiashi. Because it's twice that you move toward your microphone and I don't hear anything.
Yep. I am muted.
So what did you say?
Yeah, Toby, are you just staying on the ground or have you followed us up? My rope's still there, so you can climb up pretty easily.
I'm contemplating. Do I really want to ruin the mystery? Can you ever put on a mask? No, I'm kidding. Okay, I'll climb up the rope.
Okay. Well, you see the same thing as everyone, and like I said, there is a very high chance that she has elven ancestry, but is not an elf herself. That makes it a bit hard to tell some details, because half-elves do age slower than human, but faster than elves. Well, actually, technically, elves don't age, so... They start physically aging when their god decides that they've done enough in a lifetime. So for some it happens earlier, for others it's much later.
Congratulations on your retirement. You get to be old now.
Yeah, that's sort of it. Oh, good, I'm aging, which means I get to die of old age.
Well, at least you're getting to die.
No, well, with the lore of elves in past edition, they haven't touched a lot of the lore that has been created for elves. But whether you want it or not, an elf has a very religious life, because when an elf is born, they remember their life before being born. So technically in elf heaven, and they keep remembering this throughout this ritual that they have, this trance that they have, which previously was just called rêverie, but hey, well, they decided to use an English word instead of a French word, I guess. So they keep remembering this, but as they grow older, they start forgetting part of this because they're just not meant to remember this. So an elf knows that there's where they come from, and it's a very beautiful place, a very pleasant place. An elf is considered an adult when the last of his memories, or her memories, of that other place leaves her mind. Some say that they try to counterbalance this sadness with a very large party, because they're both considered adult now, and they have lost their last memory of the most beautiful and wonderful place they have ever seen. An elf will keep on living at his peak physical performance up until his god, the god of elves, the god who created elves, decides that you've either accomplished the reason why you have been born, or have accomplished enough that it's time to pass this to someone else. This is when you start growing old and eventually die and go back to elf heaven. So for elves, gods are inevitable. They know for sure that there's one. They know that there's an afterlife because they remember it when they're born. And they know it's where they're going after. And if they done well, they're going to go back to the same place they came from, which is very reassuring. That is the life of an elf. In previous edition, they really did not elaborate much on all of this in this edition. So... And that was the portion of past edition lore.
What the hell?
What happened, Toby? Did your cat throw something at you?
She kicked my Switch off of the freaking thing. Luckily, it
And your
landed
cat
on
is
me.
A menace.
She is. I think it's because she's half orange.
Interesting.
Okay. Interesting concept. So, like I said, when you arrive, Tobiashi, you see how she's dressed and how she is. Probably half elven, like I said. Brown hair. Very delicate feature. Slender feature. Very comfortable. It's the first time that you actually get to see her completely, and you can actually analyze her body language. And there is this dissonance between her body language, what she says, and what she implies. What she says feels like she's a bit of a flake. What she implies feels like she's very thoughtful, she analyzes a lot of things. Her body language, however, gives you the impression that she is extremely aware of everything that's happening, very focused on everything that's all around her. Very disciplined for a person. Rangers tend to have an element of not necessarily being very disciplined, very martial-like, but she was either brought up in a setting of ethics and how you should act, how you should hold yourself, or she had a very, very disciplined upbringing as an adventurer. Usually this happens when someone lost someone because they didn't act properly and they never want this to happen again. So it's a bit hard to tell which one it is, but it usually is something like this.
So what's happening up here?
Apparently, we're having a party. An audience wants to know what's at the bottom of my backpack.
I was bored.
I was also bored.
That's an interesting concept.
Well, it's gonna take a while for him to get here, so
But have you never been bored before?
Oh no, I've been bored before, but I've never tried to look through someone's drawers when I'm bored.
There's not much else to do here.
Oh,
Kind of everything.
I don't
Small
know.
town.
There's so much to look at. Look outside. The ever-changing background, the skies. Just look at the sky. Look at the clouds. No, you don't see any clouds. You're not sure if she
place that nothing changes.
You're actually not sure if she really means it when she says look at the cloud. She's pulling your leg or she actually sees cloud.
Do you have like special glasses on or something? I can't see anything.
So when's your friend gonna be here? I kind of want to get going.
Oh, she's probably already here. Probably more focused on the sleigh. Well, I guess if you give me a few moments, I could always finish packing up and go to where everyone is.
I'm gonna look out from the guard tower and see if I can find a zebra.
A zebra?
A zebra.
Oh,
Be respectful of other people's names.
You guys suddenly hear the sound of a zebra off in the distance.
I have no idea what I'm looking for, so I'm just gonna climb back down.
Respect is a big part of our party. You'll find it's very important to us.
Yes, we're all very serious.
yeah, sure.
Toby, the brunt of most of our disrespect.
Crawling in my skin.
She finished packing up, putting everything inside. She does this in a very methodical fashion. It feels like it is a very practiced moment for her. Nearly ritualistic in nature.
Audience thinks about starting to chant halfway through, but decides against it.
Tobiashi, you see her looking at you for a moment, and since you're not sure how she knows this, but apparently she does, she just words something, and you sort of understand it. Oh, how the heck did she know that I can read lips? Never mind. She's just looking
What'd she say, though?
Well, she's looking at you, and she's just wording, "Is audience still looking at my ass?" Is he still grinning while looking at my ass?
I'll mouth. It's hard to tell, especially with his face.
Well, Sam is, but the audience, I don't know.
He can just picture her ass now.
Gets the orb out, takes a picture. She packs everything. She looks at you for a moment, goes on the side of the tower. A rope. I feel like this is something a bit primitive. And she just lets herself fall from the side of the tower. You just see her. But maybe 10 feet down, you just see her go. And she starts walking away. You recognize that spell, especially you, Fisher. She just used mid-fall a Misty Step.
A misty step? Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
But
That's
why?
real waste of resources.
Yeah, I was like, but why waste the resources if there's a rope right there?
Yeah. For someone who really seems to try and project being super calm and in control, that was going real hard into showing off.
I mean, just above table, if you consider what level she probably is, it's, the second level spell slot might not even mean anything. In fact, she might not have even used a spell slot.
Every resource always means something.
Mhm.
Sorry, that's my honors mode, Baldur Gate mode talking right there.
Okay. So, you all get down from the tower. Everything is cleaned. Even the 2 bowls, she emptied them before she put them back into her backpack. One thing that you do notice, her backpack seems to be able to store more than how it looks like. So there might be a few spell on her backpack that allows her to store a bit more. And if you do want to know, yes, there is a magical object in the Dungeon Master Guide that does exactly that. So, you follow her?
I mean, if she's going to where her friend is, yes, because
Okay.
I want to leave.
Mhm.
So, she has a very light step. All the way to where the sleigh is, and you see everyone finishing preparing. The first few sleighs are being completely wrapped up, so you know that they're ready. They're finishing to fill the last of the sleigh. Well, Remy is still there, impressing the kids, and you arrive just in time to hear all the kids go, "Oh! Do it again! I saw someone who could do better than that."
Everyone's a critic.
You see the knight who's there. He's looking at everything. So, everyone is back here now. And we have the lovely Isalna following us. Alright. Well, I guess we're leaving in a few moments. I believe Asidra is arriving right now. You see someone arriving. Remy, you immediately recognize the step of a practiced rogue. Very mindful of every step she takes, always knowing exactly what she's doing. You feel like she's ready to just disappear like this. She confidently walked toward all of you, and well, all of you are going to see something slightly different based on your passive perception and insight. The first thing you see is that, well, they look fairly similar to one another. She's probably half elven also. The first thing she does when she arrives and sees all of you, you just see her crosses her arm, look at Iselna, and just say, "Ah, come on, not again. Still picking up strays, I see."
Why is everybody so rude?
Yeah, I'm like, no respect here.
Audience and Fisher.
Just saved this whole
There we
village. And
Sorry, my connection
No-
dropped, but I think
No respect.
Okay. Your camera is not back on, but we can hear you.
Oh, is the camera not feeding? I see myself.
Okay, maybe it's just this temporary delay. Skype doesn't see you. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't see you either.
I'll duck out one more time. Actually, I could just turn my camera on and off.
Yeah, that might help.
Where is the thing?
Aha!
Did that do it?
Yes. All right. So, did you miss any part of the anything that I said, or?
Like the minute that you addressed me was the minute I lost your voice.
Okay. I was just saying that everyone is going to see something slightly different. You, Remy, recognize immediately the practice step of another rogue. So there is that recognition, that mindfulness of someone ready to disappear at a moment's notice. When she arrives, she looks at everyone and just says, "Oh, come on." And she looks at Iselna when she says this. "Again, picking up strays. Are they housebroke this time?" So, audience and Fisher, based on your passive perception, what you see is someone that looks very similar to Iselna. Roughly the same height. You recognize the same eye color, the same brow color. She's also very much wrapped up. There's a very strong resemblance in her voice also. It's just the tone of voice that's different. So from your perspective, you'd say they're related. Cousins, sisters. Tobiyashi, with your slightly higher passive perception and insight, you're sure they're related. It's even very obvious for you. Their eyes, they're the same. Usually it's sisters. You'd maybe even venture as far as saying twins?
They're clones. Murder them. Sorry.
So for you, Tobiyashi, it's obvious that they're sisters, but maybe twins. For you, Remy, well, you see the
It's a
same
clone.
thing as Tobiyashi, except you see one additional thing. And you are kind of expecting this, although you probably were not expecting the translation of this. As she says, again, picking up strays, are they housebroke this time? You immediately recognize a form of thief cats. You were expecting something akin to what nobles would use to convey information, and you have your confirmation there. It is based on that, and with that you can recognize easily the relationship between the two. There is a relationship of why am I having problems saying this? Not master. I was trying to say hierarchy, but I'm having trouble saying it properly. Hierarchy. Thank you. So you do recognize that there's a difference there, but it's in the translation of what the thief can't say. Because you were expecting to hear a title in this, but you're probably not expecting to hear the title that you actually hear. And once you hear it, every time she speaks, you can't help but hear it. It's in everything she does. It always feels like she either begins or ends a sentence with this. And you take a moment to understand what she just said, right? There's an accent here, emphasis on this word, a slight difference on this one. And that means and honestly, if Remy could hear the sound of a duck when he hears this, that sound, it would probably justify it because the translation in Thief Can to this would be this. Could be this.
Okay.
But she keeps her title always in Thief Cants. So you're probably expecting this to be not something she wants to be broadcasted to everyone. Out of respect, out of decorum. You're not sure.
It's like it's like that kind of like clicks in Raimi's mind. It's like blinks. It's like and then like quickly tries to recover from that.
After you hear that
Um,
sound in his mind.
Well, you know, this isn't the first hole I've dug.
Oh, someone who likes to speak in metaphor. That's interesting. What species is he? Have you seen something like this before? Well, I'm not sure. I've heard about avian species. I'm not sure exactly. I believe they're called kenkus.
Raimi taps taps the tip of his beak.
Haha. Oh yes, I've seen. Not very common in all worlds. Especially those at war right now. You hear Azidra. And now you understand why she corrected all of you on the name Azidra. So Azidra looks at all of you. So, what can we expect? Why exactly am I here? You sound like this fancy. Well, they offered us a way out of this realm. Right, they have a way to make a deal with a lich.
Why would we do that?
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of think the leeches are beneath us. We have better ways.
True. Like killing a bunch of giants.
No.
Interesting. Well, you know, if you think that liches are beneath you, I'm sure this will be a very interesting negotiation. This is even more where you hear that title again, Remu, and she looks at Isana and just go, he's either pulling your leg or he's completely out of his mind. Oh no, he's not completely out of his mind, just enough.
I mean, we have coordinates back to our realm that we can use on the portal. We just need to go to the temple.
Oh, you want to use the abandoned portal. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I see what you want us for, then. See, that was not so hard. They're going to be very helpful. Now say you're sorry for being rude, and we're gonna be on our way. She looks at her with that. And again, Remy, you can hear the title again just being said, even though it's in her demeanor and the way she just, in her body language, thick and through. She just wants to say fuck you, but she doesn't. Yes, of course. Well then.
It's okay. We're always happy to help a couple strays stuck far away from home.
You get two different response from Isana and Asidra. Asidra looks insulted by what you just said, and Isana looks amused by what you just said. And Tobiyashi and Remy, you can completely confirm that. Your passive insight is high enough. Isalna is amused. Asidra is annoyed by you.
It's okay. I felt like it was a good line to use there. Turn it around. I'm gonna fist bump Fisher.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
Right then. Isalna turns toward the knight. I imagine you want us to help in preparing the defenses around the portal so that you have a way of holding back the tide of undead as everyone leaves this place. Am I mistaken? You see the knight going, well, I was also hoping for a bit of a meal, but it's always okay like this. You see the Sidra just going, Isalna says, well, alright, we're gonna leave immediately. Are gonna try and gather enough material to find a way to make a barricade. And I suppose you're gonna be escorting them to their destination. And once they're there, you're gonna be rejoining us to help us finish those defenses? Oh, mostly. I mean, I trust you all to make something decent, but something that's gonna withstand what's coming? I really need to check that first. And anyway, I need to create a few places where I can refuel my own weaponry. It's going to be an interesting challenge. Well, that does mean, however, that you will be on your own for the temple. I hope you don't mind having to do this element on your own. But for now, I believe you wanted to go to the library.
Yeah, just a couple of information we want to gather before we leave here.
Well, that's understandable. Knowledge is always a good thing, especially when you don't know what's going to hit you.
Also, because I don't feel like this place is the easiest to get in and out of. Might as well get something while we're here.
Of course. I'll follow you all the way to the library, and then you'll be on your own. So at least you'll have a safe travel there. And we'll see once we're there. There are so many strange monsters in here that could be a problem. I'll make sure that you can at least peruse through that library on your own. Alright, well, let's get going. Isalna, Asidra, have a good travel. Be mindful. Hags are going to be on us for a while because of them, I believe. You hear Isalna says, well, yes, most likely. So, like I said, take care of yourself. This is to help get you out, so don't die before you get out.
Oh yeah, I guess since it was brought up, it's like Rami will allow to, well, one to fall from his sleeve, and then like calling his familiar over. Uh, as like Rami presents to them like two magical eyeballs.
From the hags.
Yes.
You
Can't
see
tell what
Azidra looking at this with a bit of disdain, while Isal now looks at this again, amused, and says, "Oh, that's interesting. I've never seen the result of this. You know that they do make those out of real eyeballs? They just polish it until it becomes a stone. Some say that if you push hard enough on them, you can pop them."
That's gross.
I know.
Audience looks a little interested.
Are you offering me one?
So like Rami is kind of like making a so motion, and like it's like and then responds with the hawks have their eye on the fish below.
She looks up for a moment. You see Azidra just go, ah. And again you hear that title in her demeanor. It really means that they're watching us. I know. Why are you taking everything so literally? So, do you want to give us one, or was this just a warning?
Rami holds up two talons.
All right. We'll take that into consideration. See Sala go, well, remember, we're all in contact. The knight has warned us that you can contact him, and he did give me this. And she takes a small piece of metal behind her ear, just unfurl it, and gave us a way to communicate with him also. She puts it back. So, we're all in contact quite easily. If you need something, simply ask.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
Yep. Head out. Village, good luck.
Actually,
We're out.
actually,
luck, village.
Draken,
Yes?
a thought occurs to me. So, while it's not precisely
Mm-hmm.
jelly,
Whoa, wait a minute.
what if Ravi were to try to put the eyeballs in his racers? Do you think it would count?
Oh, like this. Okay.
I heard jelly and just assumed you were gonna finish that with put the eyeballs in Toby.
Toby.
That's what I thought. I could feed him to the little blob in the jar.
Well, you can't be sure of anything in the sense that gnome can be oddly specific. So it probably won't just accept the eye, but maybe if you put it in a jar and fill the jar with jelly, it will. The gnome was specific in saying that it accepts daggers, knives, and possibly jars of jellies. So
Yeah, that's why I was like stretching the definition of a jar of jelly, which is like, does it have to be a jar?
There's a good chance that it has to be jelly encased in something. I don't. I'm not sure the eye alone would qualify, but altered.
Like basically the idea is that like because eyes are filled with a jelly-like substance.
Yeah, I know.
And then the container which they are contained is the eyeball itself.
No, I know. The thing is that the eye was polished and it does have something to hold it. And because of that, I think that the eye itself is disqualified as a type of jelly, as a type of container with jelly in it. Yeah, I think that would be the...
Well, then the second question would be, is there even any jelly in this plane? When people were packing up, did maybe see any jars of jelly?
Oh, they have salt. Do they have sugar? Let's see. Is there a way for them to produce sugar? You think you saw honey. So technically it means there is a way of doing jelly, but you didn't see jelly. You'd have to make the jelly yourself.
Okay. Future project. Future test.
We're gonna get the Jorg's object to create all potions, and you're gonna start trying to do jelly. Alright. So, you see 3 groups leaving this settlement. One group consists of Isalna and Isidra walking away, going to the north and slightly to the west. You have the villagers who take their sleigh and go inside of the evacuation tunnel, leading them to a secure place for the transition, and most likely collapse the tunnel as they're leaving. And we have you all leaving with the knight going east. Now, with the night, it's going to be a relatively uneventful walk. So I'm simply going to ask, is there something that you feel you need to do while you're getting there? Questions you might want to ask him? Things that you want to settle between all of you? Because no one said a single word about what happened during the night. You're muted.
I'm not asking about Remy's and Fisher's personal life, okay? I feel like
Yeah, I was just gonna
night.
let it. I was just gonna let it go.
Okay. Okay.
Like that's between those two.
So the knight does warn you that it is a 4-day walk to get to the library.
Raimi, if allowed, is going to contribute mounts to this because
yeah.
a 4-day walk sounds not fun.
An audience did summon Magna before we left, so. Or
Right.
actually, the night before. Magna, by the way, I should have mentioned Magna was just literally just wandering that town the entire time I was having that conversation.
Of course. A lot of people became very confident with a huge cat roaming around that they've never seen before. So that's why no one said a lot of things about it to all of you while they were packing, strangers being strange, doing strange things with strange creatures. That's a lot of strangeness all at once. Magna did complain that a kid grabbed her fur and just pull a handful of hair.
Ooh.
Did you eat them like I taught you to?
If you say this, you're gonna hear that psychic response from your mouth. Like, you told me to eat them?
Nah, it was a joke.
Oh, okay.
Don't eat. We don't eat kids.
Okay, that's good to know. Actually, that's very good to know. You've never given me that specification before. That's reassuring.
Yeah. We actually tried just not to eat villagers or other people that were, or wherever I summoned you. We try not to eat the locals. Let me put it that way.
That's reassuring. Did you ever fail?
To not eat the locals?
Yeah, you said you'd try.
I have never eaten a local.
Oh, good.
Unless the local was a fish and I was in their lake.
I don't think that fish counts.
Okay.
I don't think they
Meanwhile,
have
out
souls.
on the open sea near a Triton civilization.
You see them
Meanwhile,
all.
the Triton civilization that audience, when he was on the boat across the water, ate 2 members of. No.
That's okay. They weren't in a village, meaning that they're not villagers. You did say that you never ate villagers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they're travelers, they can't be locals.
So, Remy, you summon the horses, you get everyone on them, and you start moving forward. And you have this moment where you believed for a little while, for a brief moment, the length of a thought that, 4 days, good, that's gonna be real quick. Let's summon the horses. And then you summon the horses and you hear the knight go, good, I was hoping that you would summon them again. So that would have been a few weeks if you hadn't.
Oh. Bummer.
Balls.
So you all get on these horses and you start flying 10 miles an hour. And it's
13 miles an hour
13 miles
if
an
they
hour.
dash.
Oh, yeah, good. And it lasts so long. You have this mind-numbing pain, I would call it, as you're traveling, because even though those horses run fast, the landscape is so always the same. It nearly feels that you're not moving. Everything just always remains in place. There's no sun, so you don't see it move in the sky. You never see any clouds. The only points of reference that you have are an occasional groups of trees that you cross and they disappear. Other than that, someone would tell you that you're actually not moving. You're just on a rug that keeps you in place, and you wouldn't be sure if they're pulling your leg or not. It's that monotonous. And you have 4 days of this. This is why I say it feels like a mind-numbing pain to just be stuck on that And you have a greater understanding of why they call it the stagnant shard. Why is it that it is nothing changes in here? Yet it does.
You know what? Just specifically to gain some stimulus every few hours while riding on the horse, Ramey's just gonna pull out his like decanter of endless water and just like just like watch the water flow as he keeps saying fountain, 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 fountain,
Just get
fountain.
water, cool. Well, even riding, eventually you need to rest. So at the end of the first day, you stop. Someone conjures the dome, and you all go to rest inside. Fisher, you find yourself having the decision again to either sleep or spend the night looking out with the night. On one hand, it's an opportunity to talk to another artificial being from another world. On the other hand, you probably never felt safer than with him around.
I also just talked to Taranad about this, so I think I'll fully go to sleep and let him do stuff if he wants to.
Okay. Do you want to try out your new wisdom stat?
Yeah, let's go.
So a roll or a save? Roll to have access to your inner domain. Save to dream.
Let's shoot. Let's do a save.
Okay.
Well, we can add things though.
Well, at least you don't have to subtract things.
Yeah, exactly. Assuming I'm sleeping next to audience, it's a +2. And then with my
You're just always got to stay by audience now.
War
Every time you
Man,
sleep.
not War Magic. It was a arcane deflection thing. That's a +4.
So 5?
That brings it up. No, that I rolled a 5.
Okay.
It brings it up to an 11.
Okay. Wow, that's
So high.
well, it's one
First of all,
higher
I
than
tried
before.
coining it since we spent the whole day just riding anyway.
Yeah, your mind is running a bit dry on symbols. You you dream about the landscape, the unchanging landscape. There is that feeling of desperation. As if there was no reason to hope. Yet, you can feel someone is hoping. Somewhere, there is a light that someone is firmly believing in. And the oddest thing happens
What the?
just before you wake up. You become convinced for a brief moment that you are the light in which this being chooses to have faith in. And then you wake
I
up.
know my wisdom went up, but it's still not high enough to go into a cleric.
And then you wake up. And you wake up hearing this, hearing the knight go, "That's fascinating. I'd never taken that into consideration, that it would be this awkward to..." Oh, that's a different look. Hello, Mr. Fisher.
Hi. What are you talking about?
Oh, Terranad was giving me insight into the life of a crystal ball.
Mm-hmm. You guys come to any conclusions? Figure anything out?
Well, to put it in the word that Asidra once said, it sucks. I believe were her exact word.
Yeah.
Although she did do those...
7,
I don't know.
8.
Did she
Hello.
used to be a crystal ball?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, as best as I can understand, she spent most of her life with Isalna. Not sure exactly when it started. There are brief moments of her life that she chooses not to share. Get the feeling that she met her in one of those.
What do you mean? Are they not related?
You know, that would make sense. That would explain the why I'm getting a very similar aura with my sensory equipment. Actually, it feels like it's the same aura.
Hmm. Interesting. How long have you known him?
Oh, only since they've been here. Maybe 2 or 3 years.
That was a pretty long time.
Really?
That's almost as long as I've been sentient.
Oh, well, in that case, it is. Time. All a question of perspective.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. So you're only 3 years old.
Yep.
Fascinating.
Or my brain, consciousness, soul, lived experience.
Well,
The body's got a few thousand years on it. But,
okay, yeah. Well, I can empathize with that. Mine also went through several versions.
how do you like the current one? Seems pretty good.
I don't know. I know I've been through several versions, but it's not the same awareness. It's part of what we are. The body stays the same. I mean, I'm sure you've realized, especially if you've seen others like me, we have a standardized body. The difference is when we wake up. The potential just realigns itself. And you're all awake to hear this, although you probably are not. You've been waking up and you realize that as you're waking up, Fisher is talking with the knight. So you can butt in if you want. If not, we're going to go on a break in a few minutes. No, it's our bodies are standardized. It's, I guess, what you'd call our soul that expresses themselves differently, and that is the difference. Some souls are better fitted for combat, others for not combat utilities. From what I've heard, this is one of the better version for combat that I've woken up in. It's a bit of a strange concept sometimes. In many ways, it feels...
Not everyone's built to fight, but some gotta survive.
Yeah, well, it's odd. You know how you all describe when you die, your body disappears and your soul stays and goes on to the next life. Well, for us, both stays, but the end result is the same. The body stays, the soul stays, but when it is reassembled, it's different, just like being born again.
Do you remember anything?
No,
Oh, okay.
unfortunately, no.
It's interesting, though.
Well, it's useful.
Raimi just minor illusions the image of a sock with several patches in it.
Sort of.
I did not mean to do that. Oh my gosh.
Our bodies are very sturdy, so they never really go through a lot of repairs. Although, since all of our body parts are standardized, if one of us loses an arm or a leg, it can be replaced quite easily, and it's not going to show.
That's
Yeah, I
convenient.
did that once.
And how did that go?
Well, still got an arm.
Surprisingly well.
And you didn't have to be reborn. That's impressive.
Mine took a while to work out the kinks.
Wait, that's a good point.
What?
About being reborn. I think I might have been reborn. Well, I'm not a human anymore, so I guess... Okay, we'll talk about it later. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you guys.
No, please.
I mean, everybody's waking up. We're just... I just woke up.
We have
Sorry.
We have 3 more days of this. If you just want to spend it not talking, I can respect that. I've spent years alone sometime. But if there's anything you want to talk about, it's probably going to make this trip a little bit more interesting.
How old is this library that we're going to?
And I think this is where we're going to take the break, because that explanation is going to put us very far
just
into
like-
the break. But I
Hands
will
over
keep
to
it
be
for
continued.
when we come back.
Like, how old is the universe?
Why do
What's the
bad
meaning
things
of life?
happen to good people?
Is there a god?
Well, if you ask an elf, they're going to say yes. Their existence can't be just taken out of being of gods and their things. So,
Do you like sourdough bread?
well,
He doesn't eat.
the knight doesn't eat, but I do. I make it myself. So,
There you go.
all right.
Why do we park in driveways and drive on parkways?
That's an interesting way of seeing this. All right. So, see you back in 15 minutes. You have a little bit of time to go to the toilet, fill your drinks, snacks, or just bore yourself out of your mind for 15 minutes until we come back. So, see you back in 15 minutes. Bye. Hello! As you can see, we've got 2 members still in the bathroom.
We've lost them.
Yeah, they flushed themselves.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Flushed Away was a really weird DreamWorks film.
Classic.
All right.
Hello. So I guess we're categorizing this as Terranad is still in control.
Yeah.
All right. So
Terranet has crazy IBS.
So I believe we left off on your question. Wait.
How old is this library?
Oh yes.
Yeah,
the
how old
library.
is the library? That's what I asked.
How old is the library? All right. So the knight takes a moment, looks up, looks in the distance, says, It's hard to tell here. It could be old, but it could also be very new. This place is what we call a connected realm. It works in conjunction with other realms, and they all interact with one another. So what happens in one impact the other realms. Of course, the most popular, most well-known example of this is the realm of the Four Seasons. 4 realms connected together, each one of them having a different season. But the 4 realms interact with one another. So if you chop down a tree in winter, the same tree is going to disappear from summer, spring, and fall. But if you plant a tree in spring, then a new tree will appear in summer, fall, and winter. So at the same time, nothing changes in any of those realms, but things can change. They just don't change in this realm. As for the library itself, this is a stagnant shard. This is, I believe, the classification that you give. It takes elements of other worlds, elements which are dying, and it keeps them undying. So that library has died in the realm it originated from. It could have been destroyed during a battle, burned down. This is where the unknown element is going to be. When we get there, the library could be burning forever, never being consumed, but always burning. Because in the realm that it came from, it died. But now it is in this disconnected realm, and so there is a library, and new knowledge is being put inside. The knowledge comes from the other realm that it is connected to. And so when something is added on one of those realms, it is added here. Do you understand those concepts?
I tried. I really did.
Sort of have a moment where you see Tobias just going, no, I tried.
You start hearing the dial-up sound, and you thought it was coming from Fisher, but
Well, actually, you don't know because you're looking at him and his stare is very distant right now.
So what I got is it could be either or, and all in between.
Yes. It is both
Well.
yes and no. And maybe as well.
I mean, that sounds like a good library, if I'm going to be honest.
It's going to have knowledge from a lot of different sources. But who knows how the books are going to be inside? They may be burning. But they're never going to disappear.
Well, that crosses off taking the books home with us.
Well, you don't know.
Okay.
maybe he just gives you a pat on the shoulder.
Audience, you're sinking.
We'll see when we get there. How many more days? Are we there yet?
3 more days. I believe we're losing the bottom of your nose right now, audience. You're slumping. That's what I mean. Your head is slowly disappearing.
No, I just need to fix the camera.
Okay.
I was like to the side. My chair is at a weird angle.
Okay. You were slowly disappearing.
Oh no, audience found the only sinkhole in the stagnant chart.
All right, well, it's not that I have a problem with the Skype logo, but at least we're going to put a picture on there. Fisher. And we'll know when he's back because Fisher is going to have a hat again when he comes back. So, well, we looked at all of you for a moment. Any more questions for now? I believe you all need to eat before we start, so.
No, I'm good.
You do know that it's not advisable for a slime person to not eat, because you might end up eating your own stomach.
I have removed a ration.
I still have a stomach? I guess I'll eat a ration.
Well, technically, your entire body is your stomach now.
Oh. Yeah, I'll eat some rations then.
So you get
He slowly inches his hand back away from Kobayashi.
Oh, don't worry. I think there is no problem. Usually, single cell organisms needs to completely encompass you inside of their body to digest you. So you should be all right.
I wonder if I could do that now. Maybe I could get rid of that knife you keep stabbing me with.
Intriguing. You all have very odd ways of greeting yourselves. He points at audience. He starts every morning praying to a god that I have never heard of. He wants to eat people. He can't communicate his thoughts the way everyone else can. And I think his awareness is just left for a while. His stare looks vacant. fascinating group of people. All right, then we'll have something to eat and summon those horses again, because otherwise it's going to take us 8 more days, I think. Am I counting this right? And he loses himself while trying to count the distance on foot.
Amy just starts casting and snacking.
All right. So, for your reference, you say you go 13 miles an hour. Come on, open up. And so for the return trip, should you forget to use your horses, it's 83 miles to get back to the village where you were, and then you have to go to the temple where the key is, which has been transformed into a magical object, which Audience think he can use as the last component to have his object upgrade his body and finally have a decent breath weapon.
I so bad just want to call it the Keyblade.
The key to unlocking your high. Alright.
Alright. So you get back on the horse and you start moving again. That second day is, well, you're not sure exactly. You know, it's like that play. It's centered around someone being stuck in a time loop, and there's a gopher in there. You know, you've all seen the play at least once, just out of curiosity, but it feels like you're stuck in here because all day long, that day feels like just a repetition of the previous day. Same background, same sounds. Actually, not a lot of sounds. Just sound of the hooves of the horse and padded feet of Audience mount.
The occasional trickling of water.
That's how I was trying to figure a way to say this. Yeah, that's probably it. And there's sort of that confirmation of maybe we're reliving the same day again. I feel like he's pouring water exactly at the same time as the previous day. And then you remember, oh yeah, he's a Kenku. It might actually really be exactly the same time as yesterday. It's his nature. Odd concept. You travel throughout the day, take a little bit of a rest midday, and then you finish the day. Another day goes by, and damn, I really wanted Fisher to be here because there was a conversation that I'd rather he would have been there and not just me speaking in his stead. Send him a text message. I want to know what's happening. Where's Fisher? Maybe he's gonna hear it if I say something. Oh, Fisher. All right. We need Fisher. Okay. Maybe he said he was tired. Maybe he fell asleep on the toilet.
Just like Elvis. So we wait for him?
I mean, it would have been nice to have as a conversation, but I can find a way to squeeze that in. So, second day goes by. And then the third day. And then again, you get that feeling of déjà vu all over again.
Then the fourth day. No,
The fifth day of Christmas.
they're all birds. They're all birds in that song. They're just gifting a bunch of birds to that person.
Yeah. Actually, I only know the Blizzard version of the song. When Warcraft 3 came out, the next Christmas, there was a Warcraft 3 version of 12 Days of Christmas. It's the only one that I know by heart. Because they don't only use Warcraft 3. They use... no. The 12 Days... No. Warcraft 3 was Halloween. Diablo was Frosty the Snowman. And 12 Days of Christmas was StarCraft. StarCraft 1, not the second one. And I'm not gonna sing it just because I want to be sure that no one tries to sue me. So, fourth day comes by. Unless you have something you want to talk about, I'm jumping directly to the fourth day.
Good with me.
Okay. So, on the fourth day, probably in the last hour of travel, you start seeing this large structure appearing, dome-shaped. Looks in ruins. But the closer you get, the more you at the same time see the damage it has incurred, and also how massive it is, and how likely it is that there are at least some book that survived in there, no matter what happened. For you audience, it's a little bit more obvious because of your martial training and the fact that you have seen engines of war and things like this. So, you know a bit. Technically Fisher also, but right now I think he's in awe of this place because he's not saying anything. I promise I will try and tell you all if we learn that Fisher fell asleep on the toilet bowl. Just because it's so ridiculous.
Only occasionally stirred awake by a... What?
Or rather, oh. It's more obvious what happened to the library. It probably belonged in a city that was attacked. The damage on it are consistent with artillery projectile. Well, medieval artillery projectile, not modern ones. Some of them were probably arcane in nature, so arcane augmented artillery projectile. So some portions are very devastated, but some looks okay. The worst damage is on the outside, but the inner portion seems to be... Well, the whole thing seems to have been placed inside this realm before the intersection got too severely damaged. But also there is that thought in your mind when you see all of this of, oh, okay, that thing was pulled inside of this realm just as it was dying. Technically, for a library to be dead, all of the books would need to have been destroyed. So if there's an intact portion of it, maybe there's an armed projectile inside of it that was taken also in a moment before it blew up. So, sort of like having to work around a possibly live mine when you're gonna be going inside. So, it looks old. Some of the damage on the exterior elements do seem to give off an impression of a very old building. So maybe you have an answer for Tobiyashi. For Tobiyashi, who is not as martially minded, it's less obvious where's the difference between battle damage and time damage. But for you, audience, it is.
Well, let's go in.
Well, if it's a time knight, it's both.
Yeah. I'll be like, okay, we should be careful though. I'm not exactly sure.
I get naked.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. I don't get naked. Unless.
I guess I'd turn to the knight. I'd be like, do you know, or do you think you could see the safest way in?
He just cocks his head a little bit. For you, audience, it just looks like he cocked his head and looked a bit sideways for a moment. But for Tobiyashi and Remy, who has a higher insight, you sort of notice that the way he turned his head, a portion of his head hit his shoulder. And that's when you realize, oh, okay, he probably activated something just with a looking in front. Just, well, there is odd energy inside of there. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but oh, I hope it's not what I think it might be. The structure seems to be sound, though. If you avoid the exterior portions of it, the inside looks okay. There is a large exertion of energy nearly at the center of it. Well, not center, but center portion. Where the dome, and he points toward the dome and draws your attention, audience, because Fisher is looking at something else. And he points at a portion on the dome right there, and you see there's damage on the dome. It's actually caved in at this point. I believe that's the fatal blow to the library. So maybe that section will be dangerous.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll avoid that section.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, so you said, I hope it's not what you think it is. Can you tell us what it might think it is so we can be prepared?
I'm already on the damage section.
This thing is huge. It's easily the size of a large cathedral. And that's just the portion of it that's mostly intact. There are multiple wings to this library. Many of them look damaged on the outside, but they are, each one of them could easily contain a small village.
Yeah. So I'd be like, what do you think it might be?
There's a lingering energy inside of there. There are several possibilities. Some are benign, but I just see this.
What would be the non-benign ones if we were like, what should we be cautious of potentially? I'm trying to be prepared for, potentially bad outcomes.
Library echoes. You said that's what's the worst outcome? Library echoes. It's sort of a parasitic entity that goes inside of collapsing structures and stays there. They like knowledge. They hide in books. They're actually just energy that are going to come out of the books and try and hunting you.
Did you fight them, or do you just have to like run away?
Oh no,
Since
you
they're
can
just
fight
energy.
them. It just doesn't give any result. It's only going to dissipate them. It's not going to destroy them.
Is there a way to destroy them?
Find the origin of the echo. Oh, that would be more of a problem for me than for you, I think. But still, if it is a library echo, you're gonna have to do your thing while I do mine, and I won't be able to be in two places at once. Either I help you protect yourself against the echo, and you have to rush all the way and get some books and get out, and you'll read your books outside, and hopefully you got what you need. Or we buy ourselves a little bit more time and I go hunting for the origin of the echo. In that case, you'll have to fend them off by yourselves, but you'll have more time to look for books. Because my actions will draw most of the echoes.
Okay. So we should have more time. Would we be able to go towards the center, or would we be stuck? Like if you were hunting the origin, I assume it's going to be somewhere near more the center of damage. Would we be able to still go to that section, or would that be a section to avoid?
It really depends. If the library has several levels, then we should probably be fine. If it is all on a single level, then yeah, no, that's going to be rather involved operation.
Okay. Well, I think for now, we'll just go in and because I also feel like it's not too hard to get out of the library right now. We'll start our searches towards the edge, and then if we don't find what we need, we'll maybe start moving more towards the center.
All right.
Well, we have your contact, so we can stay in contact.
Oh yeah, that's probably a good idea. Just open the comm completely. He just taps on the side of his helmet.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the comm is completely opened, so
All right.
unless you close it on your end, we can always communicate quite easily. Try not to shout
Okay.
unless you have a problem that requires shouting. I just mean
Okay.
don't shout without any reasons.
Let's head in.
All right.
So,
Are we stealthing?
I don't think we need to immediately. We don't know what the layout looks like yet, or even like where the books we're gonna want are gonna necessarily be. I think that's more.
So the way that the plans of this library works is that there is a central building. This is a bit more of a dome shape. It's quite high, so it probably has several layers. And this is the kind of place which has thousands of books easily. There are several wings. Just like that, looking at it, you can see 6. There could be more hidden in different
Mhm.
locations, but 6 major ones. Most of them are damaged.
Okay.
Judging from the smell, there's at least one that's burning. But with what the knight said, it might just be ever burning. Which means the fire, it does not progress in it. So you could still have something inside.
All right.
So
Well, I guess we'll go to the easiest wing first, which is just the first one we get to.
okay. So here's the thing. If it's going to be investigation, because I believe you have very specific information that you want to find about the mist.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's going to be investigation. And your collective role is going to tell me if you find something or not. And you can stay there and keep looking and keep looking and keep looking. It's going to just add on to that roll. But keep in mind that you're in hostile territory, most likely. So the longer you take in one section, maybe the less time you'll have in another one.
So we're all making a roll. We're not doing like one person rolls with advantage or.
Not on this one, because unless you don't want to all roll.
I'd like to look for different information.
Okay, well, in that case, your rolls are going to be adding up for something else.
What are you looking for, Toby? Or are you not?
Well, I'm not looking for stuff on the mist with them. So they could roll together, right? I'm looking for stuff about dragons.
Okay.
Okay.
And I guess we'll say that Fisher, because he has family
helping.
in the Isles, is helping
them.
with finding things about the
mist.
mist. All right.
Okay. Well, I guess us three are rolling then.
Roll for Fisher.
What's Fisher's bonus? To investigation?
Let's go with D&D.
His should be a +8 unless he set Terranad to something.
That's gonna be.
I'm pretty sure it's Arcane he's on. So
All right.
Arcana.
Well, I added my solid 10 as I do, but I'm not the one who should be adding a lot to this roll, so I'm gonna leave that up to you two. I added my solid 10. That's what you get from me.
Okay. So Remy, do you
Said investigation?
Yeah.
Yes. Because you
I
know
rolled a
exactly what you're
16.
looking for. You said 16?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm near enough with audience, but I don't think it works for that anyways.
No, it's not a save.
No, it's not Tobiyashi. It's Fisher that I want. All right. Fisher investigation.
And Raimi is actually going to use the power of his lantern to give himself advantage.
Okay.
He has no reason not to. Okay, we're not using that one. So that is going to be a total of 27.
Wow.
The other one was a 2, by the way, on the die.
So what did
Stop
Fisher
knocking
roll?
stuff over. You know what? Come here. Come, yeah, you're banned.
You're
banned.
banned.
You're banned.
I'm not seeing anything on the chat.
Knocking everything over.
What do you mean? It's his stuff. He can do whatever he wants with it.
In fact, it's really rude that you keep eating his food
Yeah.
and sleeping in his bed.
Please. Okay.
and inviting people over without permission.
Yeah. Don't you know? It's rude to do this.
At least you pay your rent on time.
Every day with food. All right, so Tobiashi has cat problem and Fisher has fleshing problem. So,
What was Fisher's roll?
17.
Okay, so what's that? 27, 37, 44, 54 is our cumulative roll.
I have 54.
Yep, that's what I got. 54. Not bad.
Yeah. So you start looking, and it takes a little while. It takes a little while, but you think you find, well, mostly Remy. Audience, you look at books and it's, oh, nice, pictures are intact. It's very interesting one. It's perfect, and it looks like a lovely nature woman. Just Remy has that. And he grabs a book and shows it to audience. Oh yeah. Books about the mist.
You know what? In the back of Raimi's mind, it's like, at least he's not. At least if when he's looking at pinups, he's not like setting off any, traps or bumping into any remnants or ghosts.
Yeah. So, takes a while, maybe an hour or so, until you find yourself in front of a collapsed portion of this building, and well, that's going to be a bit harsher to find something interesting inside of this building right now. There is an eerie feeling as you're walking through the different aisles of this place. It's like walking inside of a dead building, inside of a ruin. But there's that feeling of you're walking inside of a ruin that doesn't know it's a ruin. It's an odd concept in your mind. There's no sound, as if someone painted a picture right before it completely blew up. And you're exploring that picture. It's that quiet in there. The only thing that breaks that silence are your own footstep, and when audience accidentally drops a book. You just hear that. You all look at audience for a moment. You think you found a few books that talks about it, but just like the knight said, it's you can spend more time in this section, but if you do, you might be forced to spend less time in another one.
Did I find anything about dragons?
Well, with a 16, yeah. But if you want to take time to read through the book to see exactly what you found and its value, you'd have to spend some time reading. Usually, this is why I'm rolling now and not necessarily telling you exactly what you found because of the cumulative roll, but also because you really have three options. You either do this exactly the same way as you would a library, meaning that you find books, you read them thoroughly to see if they have what you need, and then you either leave them on a table or not. What you're doing right now would be more akin to taking the books, reading a few pages at different places in it, see if it talks about what you want, and if it does, pocket it. If it doesn't, leave it there. Or you can really just run through all of these things and pick a few books, going with the sections, not even with the content of the books, just going, oh, okay, this book and this book and this book, they talk about this, this, and this. So it's probably like this. So you really have a choice of how much time you want to put in every location.
I'll just take the book.
Okay. So you end up with several books. For audience, Remy and Fisher, which one of those three options are you going for?
So, since we haven't been attacked yet, I feel like we'll at least, or I won't, but probably Fisher and Remy could actually spend some time looking through the books. If one of them, especially if one of them seems like it would actually be, helpful.
Okay.
Because we're also looking for potential ways to remove the mess, so if there's a section on that specifically, it'd be good to find it.
Okay. So you take time to go through all of the books and read a few pages, a few chapters here and there. Get a good feel of everything they're talking about. Well, of course, since you don't know a lot about the mist, the first few books that you read that you find are talking about the mist gives you new information. But quickly you realize that there's redundant information. Just like the knight said, this library, books from different sources are pouring into it. So sometimes you take a book and you look at it and it feels like the exact same book that you just read, passages of it, just written by someone else. So you take more time to read through this one here. Get a few books that are unique and doesn't cross-reference too much.
Do we start to get, like, I just have a question, not for, like, do we start to get, like, a certain, besides, like, do we start to get, like, a certain, like, this author might have, or, like, we're looking for this specific author, or this maybe, like, this, yeah, it's, like, a certain person who wrote a book who might be able to help us as we start to read through the books? Like, so we can start looking more or, like, narrow our search, I guess, towards, like, a certain author that seems to more have the type of information we want.
Okay.
I'm assuming then you're talking about like a certain like work that keeps being brought up, or a footnote that mentions a specific individual.
Yeah, something like that. That would be like, okay, we're looking for this. This is probably going to have the information we want.
Okay.
I mean, if they're taking time doing it, I might as well, right?
Okay.
So I'm not ending up with like 3,000 books.
Well, you got audience's dimensional space. You could always just keep it open and just keep shoving things inside. You're going to end up with a lot of trash books, but...
I'm trying to not make it obvious that I'm not looking for what everyone else is looking for.
Oh, so you want to roll a deception roll also. Okay.
I could do that. A sleight of hand, right?
No, it's more deception because you're playing the role of. You go mostly where they go. You take books, but you always have this moment of taking a book here and then taking a book there and putting them both on top of one another. And instead of opening the one that's on top, you open the one that's at the bottom, so you can actually...
It is a straight 18 because I don't have a modifier.
Well, it's good enough to fool audience and Fisher. Not Raimi, but Well,
He'll be fine.
not Remy, but it's not by a lot. You get the impression that Remy is very focused on two things right now: finding books and watching audience find books. So
Audience bends over. That's the perfect time I go to pick it up.
that's when you know that Remy's attention is going to go.
Like it's like, wait, what's he doing? Wait, no, audience, put that down.
So, Remy, you probably notice at some point that Tobiashi is either looking for something else or has a secondary goal in his search. So, because it's a good roll. It's just, I think, 1 or 2 points under your passive investigation. There's this little hint of a doubt that he's just not doing the same search as all of you. He might simply be searching 2 subjects at the same time instead of just one. Or he's really faking it hard and just looking at something else.
I'm trying to find orc love poems. Gosh.
Well, with Fisher kind of acting very strange, it's like he can't really like go anywhere about it. But when I say by mean that, like, he can't like really go off and investigate what he's investigating. He can, however, send his familiar
All right.
to spy on him.
See, he just appeared in Tobiashi's camera. Well, you changed the color of your familiar, but
It's a different color in this realm.
yeah. It's the realm. It makes it appear black and orange. So you spend a little bit more time in this one, going thoroughly through the books. After a while, you think you've mostly found everything you could find in this section, and you start moving on to the next section. The next section, when you arrive there, looks mostly devastated. There are a few places where you can still find good books, but the nature of this realm hits you a little bit more because in this library here, in this wing of the library, you start looking through the books, and some of them feel like they are currently burning, but they're not. It's the damage on it, the searing on top of the book. It's as if you were grabbing coals, embers from a fire, and it's just hot, not enough to hurt you, but it's hot. And because of that, some elements of the book you can't read, but some are still intact, as if the fire hadn't reached all the way through the book. So they are damaged book, which can be interesting. So I'm gonna have you roll your investigation roll again.
For this section, I'm looking for what everyone else is looking for.
Okay, then I'm gonna add your roll to everyone else's roll.
Uh, 15.
Audience?
25.
What?
That's what he rolled.
Oh, he rolled it on. Okay.
Oh
I didn't
no,
even
that's
hear what
Fisher.
he.
I rolled 25. Audience,
Oh,
what did you roll?
oh.
For the new, oh, are we re-rolling for the new section?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Better. You get a 13 this time from me.
Remy?
Amy's using the power of his lantern once again, though there are not much difference this time. It's like on the dice, there's an 11 and a 12, so in total, that's a 23.
Get off my dice.
What do you mean your dice? It's his dice.
She'll roll an investigation too.
Well, it's a cat. It's more sleight of hand for the cat.
15 straight.
Do you want to roll intimidation as well? Did she bite you recently? She's gonna wanna.
11.
Oh, yeah, it didn't work too good. All right, so you start going through that section of the library, and it's like I said, there's something very unsettling in the way that all of this is placed. Some of the books are partially burned. You're taking care to try and find things which are relevant. Because of that, you think you made a little bit of progress. There was something inside of it. For the third one, now you've been at this for a little over 3 hours. So far, nothing has happened. But you have a choice now. You can keep on going to the damaged wings or go into the central portion of it. Hello?
There's no reward without a little bit of risk.
Okay. Audience, you agree with that?
I agree with that.
Okay. So, you all start moving in. You've only just begun inside of the main hall when, especially you, Remy, sort of hear that noise of rocks crumbling or falling, as if something had been touched and something fell on the floor, something hard like a small pebble or things like this. So there's that moment of vigilance that comes rushing in, and you just have the reflex of looking in the direction where you heard that. Then a few moments later, you can swear you hear somewhere in this library
Maybe he's just gonna slowly pull out his zombie puppet.
Audience.
I guess I'd contact the knight and be like, we hear some moaning in the section we're in.
Yeah.
Just letting you know.
Okay. Which section are you in right now?
I would give a description.
Oh, right. Central portion. Did you happen to record it?
The moan?
Yeah.
Remy recorded
Maybe
it.
opens his beak.
Okay, right. Oh, that's not pleasant. All right.
Should we leave this action?
I don't think that's gonna change much on the element of you being hunted, but let's just say that the bigger the section of the library is, the more chances of echoes appearing. So it's really up to you. I'm gonna go directly to the center of it, to where I see the biggest energy emanation. It's probably where this is coming from.
Okay. I guess we'll keep. We feel like this might be a good section, so we'll keep looking, but we'll just be aware that there might be some hostiles inbound.
Are we in a new section or the one with the fire books?
I think we're in the one with the firebooks.
I think you moved on from that one.
Oh no, we moved on?
Yeah.
Okay.
You had a choice when you left to go directly to the center or keep doing exterior wings.
Yeah. No, I think so. Oh no, yeah, so we're more towards the center now. But we're also where maybe the good shit is.
Maybe.
The good shit.
And so, well, since we're missing a player, I think I'm not going to make you go through, even though it could be small combat without a player. I'm going to say you keep looking, and before you get comfortable enough to be able to start finding books, you have that brief moment of...
I will say, since audience is probably not doing too much helping anyway, audience would draw his weapon and kind of be the lookout guy. Because I assume that's more helpful than me actually reading the books. Because audience can't do much. So audience will have prepared a ready action to defend the party if they're attacked.
Yeah, probably audience has that feeling because in 3 hours, Remy has rolled better on the first time than you in total. So you probably feel a bit awkward.
Audience knows his strength. He's like, okay, there's an enemy. I'm going to get ready to help defend the party against that enemy instead of helping out.
All right. Make a perception roll.
Ooh, I'm great at those too.
Yeah, I know you love them.
Yeah, that's a 2.
All right.
He's really good watching us out, watching out for us.
Absolutely. He's there and looking outward.
Listen, I don't know what an echo meant. I was just staring at the ceiling. I just assumed it would come from above.
Yeah, he's looking outward.
Only the ceiling.
He's, all three of you are behind him. You're looking through books, and he's looking outward. And then looking at the ceiling for a moment. And actually, it's probably more Tobiyashi and Remy that sees what's happening before audience. And Tobiyashi, you're just about to reach for a book, and then suddenly it feels like portion of the library, the shelf itself, seems to just pull apart and create a bony arm. As it moves, it reaches out for you, and just a moment before it touches you, you just pull your hand, and you see that camouflage go from something that looked like part of the shelf going back to what looks like the arm of someone who's been dead for very long. Thing is, it's partially transparent. This is where you get sort of the impression of, oh yeah, no, that makes sense. It's an echo, and it's not fully here, meaning, just like the knight said, I can dissipate it, but not kill it. Great. Brings back memories.
Literally.
Yeah. For Remy, painful memories. Mentally painful memories, not physically painful memories. And so an echo detached from the wall. And you all have that moment of where you can either choose to start running and possibly abandon this section of the library and go to the next one, or fight it, buy yourself a little bit of time to properly search this section. And
I want to properly search this section. I feel
Okay.
good about this section.
okay, well, in that case, I am giving you a choice. We can roll the initiative and end the stream here, or roll the initiative next time.
You can just roll the initiative next time.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Well, I was just gonna say so Andre can roll his own initiative, but
That's okay. Please inform me of what happened to Andre. I hope nothing
here I'll
bad.
I'll let you know what initiative I rolled. That'll actually tell you my position on it.
Okay.
No, actually, we should roll our initiative now.
Okay.
Change my mind. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do that.
All right.
Insert a joke here about shitty rolls.
No, I have a good. I rolled well on initiative.
Oh, that's why you wanted to roll now. You wanted to keep it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, audience, you rolled a.
Oh, I was joking.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I can go. I mean, I rolled an unnatural 20.
So, do you want to roll now or later? We can let Fisher roll on next episode if you want.
It's up to you guys. If you guys want to roll your initiative, you
I'm
can.
rolling. I'm
Okay.
rolling.
Okay.
Alright. Sounds like Toby wants to roll.
He was the first one to really be excited about it. So.
14. 11 plus 3.
Okay. Remy?
Raimi gets an 8.
Alwinac is not there, and I do not know if Fisher has Terry on his shoulder or not.
He at the very least has a chip on his shoulder.
Oh. It's a chip of wood. It came out from the bookshelf. Alright. So, with this, I think this is a good moment to end today's episode. We're going to start next episode with a little bit of action as everyone tries to run through this library, trying to find the information that they want. Alright. End of the episode, which means it's going to be sound of crackling fire. Alright. Here we go.
Ooh, super scary, fighting in the stagnant library.
So long as it's an original song, you can sing it completely. There's no problem. Just remember that anything you sing on this channel becomes public property, so just in case. Unfortunately, it is part of the deal.
So then, if I state my name on the stream, that means I become public property.
No,
And if I become public property,
No, it just means your name becomes public property. So someone can abuse your name, but not you.
Fanfic. Write all the fanfic you want about our characters.
And send it privately to the players, because I'm not sure I want to read it.
We'll have a stream just
show
for
us.
reading them.
yeah, send us that Raimi X Tobayashi fanfic.
Yeah.
And also your crack fix, like Tobiyashi X Fisher.
Or Tobiyashi X Terranad.
How is
What's
that
he
gonna work?
Well, you see, he already has experience like pleasing a ball.
Yeah.
Oh, good lord, good heaven. Alright, so with this, I think it is a perfect moment to end today's stream. Because I think everyone was a little bit tired, so it's good. It's a good thing. Don't worry. We're gonna be there next episode. Full of energy. Ready to go. Well, I don't want to make a promise that I'm not sure we can keep, so we'll be there.
We solemnly swear we'll be up to no good.
Too bad I don't have a map that I can just fade in. Alright. So, thank you for being here tonight. We hope you had a pleasant, whatever part of the day it is for you. We hope you'll be there next week, next Wednesday, or next Friday if you're watching the rebroadcast. Remember, for the rebroadcast, if we have 3 raiders or more, we try to raid a channel, the D&D related. Unless Tobiyashi's there, in that case, we'll raid him, even if we don't have 3 raiders. Well, if we have 3 or more raiders, maybe we'll still go for a D&D channel to just so we can keep relationship with the only channel that still plays on Friday. On my list, I mean, that plays Dungeons and Dragons. So, but if we don't, Tobiyashi. Unless he plays Dungeons and Dragons on Friday, then it's Tobiyashi no matter what. Where was I? Oh yeah. So, and remember, if you want to support the stream, there's a variety of where you can do this. You can follow us, leave a comment, leave a like on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. You can also make donations, which is very much appreciated by me right now. Because my normal job is very quiet in January. By that I mean they don't make me work, so I don't have a pay. So you can make a donation. You can become a Patreon on Patreon. And you can also subscribe on Twitch, which also helps tremendously. But if you can't do any of those things, well, there is another thing that helps us tremendously that you can do, which is extremely free to do. And it is spreading the word of this channel. All of these options are very much appreciated. And with this, thank you for being here. See you next week. And as always, stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.
Good night.